Hello, this is Ronald with 𝗘𝗺cie_𝗶𝗶𝗆𝗆, and in this video we're going to go over our indicator day trading dashboard. And if you're familiar with the logic day trade indicator, this is basically what it is, but in the dashboard format. And just to quickly go over some settings, like many other dashboards, you can alter what you look at as far as pairs. You can take away from the default or add. You can view whatever time frames you want. The range of the look back and everything of what it filters, the history bars set to 1000 for default, and obviously the colors and alert settings. And just the usual other settings. So we'll jump into it. This, in my opinion, is a great scalping indicator. And as we can see here, I've got the Australian dollar, US dollar chart pulled up, and just here this morning, on the 15-minute chart, had a great trade. It highlights the signal, and basically what the algorithm, the indicator is picking up is price action. There's no lagging indicators that are involved in this, in the formula. And so you could have gotten in here on the candle and even wrote it up for 25 pips or so. Now, one great way to use this is inside this box. As we see the bullish box, the pale turquoise color, and obviously with the blue arrow up. The way I view this is, even if I miss this initial signal, well, I like to use supply and demand concepts and order block concepts. Any supply and demand zones that are formed inside of these signals, I view as valid zones to trade off of. And so what do we have here? Prices showing a willingness to go up as it breaks this high here, retraces back into the zone, and then moves up almost 30 pips into this next order block here. And so obviously with these dashboard indicators, the most beneficial thing is being able to monitor all the pairs, all the time frames. This indicator does work great on higher time frames. 4 hour, many like to use the 4 hour for this. As we can see, we've got a fresh one forming right here. If we see it maybe break this low and retrace back up into this, once it breaks this low, I would now see this as a valid supply zone and could easily be trading off of it. Or you could even just get in on this candle with less than a 30 pip stop, and just for the next low is about 80 pips. That's over 2 to 1. Of course, if it's going to take out that low, this low will probably be taken out as well. But now for me personally, I like to use it more for 30-minute time frame or less. I like to use it for scalps, just kind of in session trading from either London or New York session. I like to use it for that. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, let's say I only want to see the 30-minute or less time frames. I'm not interested in the higher time frame showing up That's not a problem. You can just change all of these. Monthly is already on false. So with the 30-minute, 15-minute, 5 and 1 minute all on true, as I see that pop up, you can see this is now all that is showing for me. And so if I'm scalping with this indicator, that's the way to go. You can obviously, sort by, if you're just looking for longs, the fresh, pattern, the direction. For me personally, like I said, I like, if you're scalping with this, the best is probably just to have the most recent signal generated, so that you're not missing out on the moves. As we can see, this USD Swiss franc one is just now forming. Five-minute UCAD one is just now forming as well. And here's what I'm saying. The most recent high that caused this push down has now been broken, just barely. Not a super convincing break, but it has been broken. So in my eyes, I personally would probably mark this out as demand. Can easily wait for price to trade back into here. Even if you just took the top of the zone to the bottom, 5 pip stop loss just to create a new high, 20 pips. That's a 4-to-1 R&R. And of course the zone lining up perfectly with 61.8 and 75 level. So, I'm viewing this as, in real time as I'm going over this video, live price action, where it could come and touch this zone and continue upwards again. Let's check out some more. We've got a bearish one for the 15-minute. And again, it's just a great way to filter out certain trades, right? So depending on how you were trading. So the 5-minute was showing a push up, which we could totally get. 15-minute is getting a push down. And so depending on your style of trading and how you view the market, this is a great way to confirm zones, supply and demand zones, Fibonacci levels, so on and so forth. But like I said, it works great on the higher time frames as well. Let's go to one that's probably already played out. What's the Australian one I pointed out earlier? UCAD on the 30-minute chart. So now, as we can see, this one didn't play out, but if you notice what I've been pointing out so far, there was no real validity yet to confirm this as a valid demand zone. See this high? You could even take this high. I would have taken this high and waited for this one to be broken. So the high that caused this low had not been broken yet. So we can see price has dipped down below it before it actually had this big, huge candle upwards. Now, the bias still played out well. as we can see. And even if you take the fib level from the range, see how it never closes below the 127. So clearly a stop hunt that happened here, with price continuing up for, you know, over 70 pips just in this day alone. So the bias is almost always going to be correct with this. And of course, when you're scalping, if you wanted to use it for scalping, you'll have to deal with little stop runs like that. But, you know, this is a great confirmation. This gets your eye, you know, looking for valid supply and demand zones and valid, you know, directional bias. And of course, the dashboard setting, you know, you can't go wrong with it, where it can monitor all of that for you in real time. You know, especially if you're, like I said, if you're scalping with multiple pairs, it's the perfect tool, you know, to have on your MT4, you know, with your terminal, where you don't have to actually mark out and constantly be looking for these forming in real time. And even if you're a swing trader, a long-term trader, you know, the 4-hour and daily, the same price action patterns that this indicator uses on these lower time frames, it will pick up on the higher time frames as well. So it's the day trading dashboard with the logic day trading indicator. Incredible tool to have for, you know, your trading on your MT4 terminal. So I hope this helps some, and until next time, best of luck trading.